Now, fans that either sold their tickets or whatever, all of a sudden an emphasis is starting to get thrown onto the tickets where people believe she will be playing. And that's starting to make the ticket prices go up, up, and up.
The WNBA. For years, it was a league with a passionate core following, but one that often simmered just beneath the intense heat of mainstream sports consciousness. It was respected, but not always a front-page headline.
Fact, ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't going to be playing, the lowest ticket price dropped to $3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA still doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They must protect her at all costs.
Then, almost as if a switch was flipped, an undeniable explosion occurred. Arenas that once had comfortable crowds are now bursting at the seams, completely sold out. Television ratings aren't just climbing, they're shattering previous records.
She's like the Stephen Curry of WNBA with the threes and stuff. Like, proven fact is, like, they had a game on June 7th scheduled. You know, it was going to be Angel Reese's team, which plays in Chicago. And then for Caitlin Clark's team, they were supposed to go up there playing Chicago on June 7th. First, the ticket sales were at $76 a ticket. Then after they found out Caitlin Clark's not playing that game, she got injured. Sales dropped to $25 a ticket.
There's a palpable cultural buzz and electricity surrounding the league that's simply impossible to ignore. This isn't the result of a slow, methodical buildup over decades. It's a wildfire of interest spreading with breathtaking speed.
Fact, ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't going to be playing, the lowest ticket price dropped to $3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA still doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They must protect her at all costs. You can argue all you want if she's the best player in the league, but you absolutely cannot argue if she's the most important, because she is. She is more valuable than all the other players combined, and that is just a fact.
And the spark? The undeniable catalyst igniting this inferno is largely one singular electrifying talent, a rookie sensation named Caitlin Clark, whose arrival has felt less like a debut and more like a detonation.
The WNBA is now suffering a major injury as Caitlin Clark is going to be out for 2 weeks with a quad injury, and the reason we're bringing this up specifically is the Clarkonomics effect to this. Obviously, players miss time all the time, but the Sky and the Fever were supposed to play in Chicago in about a week on June 7th. The opening ticket price was $86 because you have the Angel Reese vs. Caitlin Clark showdown that is now box office. Yeah, those tickets are now down to $25. Down to $25 after the injury announcement. And it's supposed to take place in the Bulls Arena, the United Center, as opposed to the normal Wintrust Arena. That's about a 12,000 seat difference, give or take.
But here's the unsettling question that hangs in the air, a shadow over this brilliant new dawn. What if the most formidable challenge to this meteoric rise, this golden opportunity for an entire sport, isn't an opposing team, but an unexpected, perplexing reluctance from within the very league she's so profoundly revolutionizing?
It's a support system. That shouldn't change. I think, Caitlin knows that she has the ears and eyes of the locker room and the support that she has behind, whether it's us or anybody else. I would like to think that she knows it's there and to really take her time and make sure that she's, well enough to be who she needs to be for us, because I want the 100% Caitlin, so I'll take it.
The financial shockwaves that follow Caitlin Clark are so dramatic, they border on the unbelievable, prompting economists and sports analysts alike to coin a new term, Clarkonomics. The numbers themselves tell a stark story.
Turns out she's human after all, Dan. She's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, it appears.
Yeah, what's interesting about Caitlin Clark? Remember last year, she played in the Final Four. Right after that, she went immediately to the WNBA. Draft came, season started, and, didn't miss a beat, and all of a sudden she got a little rest. and comes back, gets a little banged up. I heard you talking about it earlier, and it's going to be fascinating to me, Ricky.
Consider the evidence. When the Indiana Fever were scheduled to play the Washington Mystics, the cheapest available ticket hovered around a respectable $41, a fair price for professional sports.
The Fever games, and the one thing you notice, and this is more so than even when Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the Colts.
Then, news broke that Clark, due to an injury, wouldn't be playing in that game. Instantly, almost as if by dark magic, that very same ticket plummeted in value to a mere $3. Let that astonishing drop truly sink in.
One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing. A beast. She is the truth. She's the truth, and she was a rookie. Knock down the three-pointer, get to the rim. She can get to the free throw line. She's crafty.
Yeah, very crafty.
Crafty. So sometimes she look like she's coming off for a three-point shot, and she backdoors you for a layup. She gets her teammates involved. She can pass. She can shoot. Man, she is the complete.
And this wasn't some bizarre, isolated fluke. A highly anticipated marquee matchup, this time featuring Clark's Fever against Angel Reese's Chicago Sky, saw initial ticket prices comfortably sitting at $76, even reaching $86 for keen fans.
How crazy was this season versus the seasons past?
Our jersey sales were up 1,193%. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and we're thrilled about it. But it brought visibility to the whole team of the Fever and to the WNBA. But if we just want to keep it in Indiana, you know, we look at ticket sales sold out every night, over 17,000 fans in our games at home. When Caitlin announced that she was coming out into the draft on a Thursday afternoon, from that time to Sunday night, we had over 6,000 phone calls, people wanting to buy season tickets. But even something as simple as our terrific mascot, Freddie Fever, his appearance requests went up 150% this season. So you talk about...
Once again, Clark gets sidelined with an injury, confirmed as unable to play, and once again, those premium ticket prices collapsed, tumbling down to just $25. This isn't just about fan enthusiasm, it's a direct, quantifiable, almost brutal measure of her singular economic gravitational pull.
Shame on you! Kathy Engelbert pens this beautiful article written by Kathy, about Kathy, for Kathy, explaining why she is solely responsible for the boom of the WNBA. Folks, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. The commissioner of the WNBA on transferring the league ahead of a breakout season. And what was that plan that Kathy Engelbert put in place? Working in partnership with my new WNBA team members, NBA colleagues, and WNBA owners, we developed a strategy with 3 pillars. The league would think player first.
Her presence or absence alone dictates the actual market value of admission, transforming standard league games into premium, must-see, can't-miss events. But her incredible Midas touch, the uncanny ability to turn everything she's associated with into gold, extends far, far beyond just the turnstiles and ticket booths.
Yes, man, you guys heard me correctly. None other than Kathy Engelbert is singing a different tune this season about Caitlin Clark. Now, we know last year she was talking about all of the other rookies being included in this, making a difference, being able to help contribute to the big bang of the WNBA. This time around, she's owing it all to Caitlin Clark. Me personally, I told y'all this at the beginning of the month. The chickens was coming home to roost for the WNBA, because I'm telling you right now, there has been a lot of spooky things going on and people is tired of it.
This revolution isn't confined to just filling seats in arenas. It's a full-blown cultural tidal wave sweeping across the nation. Television viewership for WNBA games featuring Caitlin Clark hasn't just seen a modest tick upwards. It has comprehensively smashed previous records, drawing millions of entirely new eyes to the sport.
But Kathy Engelbert, in her naivete or in her delusion, she takes credit for it. Instead of saying it's because of Caitlin Clark, instead of saying it's because of the person from Iowa, instead of saying it was because of her, Kathy says, oh, it's all me. My strategy, my plan, my 3 pillars. In this entire article, Kathy Engelbert mentions Caitlin Clark's name 2, maybe 3 times. Angel Reese's name once. Cameron Brigg's name once. Let's get right into it because this article, from start to finish, is disgusting.
Many of these new viewers, captivated by Clark's incredible skill and on-court charisma, had never consistently watched the WNBA before. Her merchandise, it's become a phenomenon in its own right, a testament to her widespread appeal.
Black and white sports supporters, well, I think this pretty much closes the book on its Me Too. They're tuning in for Me Too. Oh, the WNBA's not going to like that. Oh, those Angel Reese trolls online that are trying to come for me and other YouTube channels, y'all aren't going to like this. Good. Too bad. I mean, it's more statistical proof, data, to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that Caitlin Clark is driving this whole ship, this whole bus. She's driving it. Everybody else, get in the back.
Reports indicate that sales for her jersey alone have surged by an almost unbelievable 1,193%. Entirely new demographics, people who previously paid little attention to women's basketball, are suddenly tuning in, actively talking about, and financially investing in the WNBA. She's rapidly become a household name, her influence transcending the sport itself, much like other iconic figures who fundamentally shifted the landscapes of their respective fields. You'd naturally assume, given these extraordinary contributions, that this kind of league-altering, revenue-generating force would be met with universal celebration, right? Well, the reality on the ground appears to be far more complicated and, frankly, perplexing. Disturbingly, amidst the deafening roar of new fans and the delightful ringing of cash registers, there's a discernible, almost icy chill emanating from some established corners of the league itself. Whispers and some not-so-subtle on-court actions from certain veteran players suggest a perplexing undercurrent of resentment. The age-old narrative of rookies needing to earn their stripes is being frequently invoked, a curious sentiment when applied to a player who is already delivering unprecedented viewership, record ticket sales, and a level of national relevance that directly benefits every single person involved with the league. It's a truly baffling spectacle. Some players who are directly profiting from the Clark effect, enjoying bigger crowds, more extensive media attention, and the increased league revenue that could eventually lead to significantly better salaries, are the very ones seemingly throwing shade or delivering unnecessarily hard fouls on the individual driving this newfound prosperity. The irony is as thick as the palpable tension on the court. And if the occasionally frosty reception from some fellow players is puzzling, the official narrative being spun by the league's leadership is perhaps even more baffling and raises even more questions. While Caitlin Clark is out on the court, night after night, rewriting record books and single-handedly elevating the WNBA's entire profile to unprecedented heights, the league's leadership, particularly Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, has presented a curious and often debated storyline. In numerous public statements and carefully crafted articles, Engelbert has often attributed the league's sudden explosive boom primarily to her own strategic initiatives and her 3 pillars for growth. In this narrative, Clark's individual, undeniable magnetism sometimes feels more like a convenient footnote rather than the central headline act. It's a narrative that seems to artfully sidestep the most glaringly obvious factor in the league's sudden surge, the arrival of a truly generational talent whose unique appeal has captivated an entire nation. One has to seriously wonder about the underlying motivation behind any attempt to downplay the Clark phenomenon, a force so visibly potent it's practically observable from space. While this contentious debate over who truly deserves the credit for this remarkable turnaround simmers intensely off court, a far more immediate and deeply concerning issue is unfolding with alarming regularity during every single game Caitlin Clark plays. On the court, Caitlin Clark is consistently enduring a brutal physical gauntlet. She's frequently clobbered, unceremoniously body-checked, and subjected to a level of aggressive physical play that often feels like it crosses the indistinct line from tough, competitive defense to something more akin to targeted intimidation. Opponents, at times, seem to take an unusual, almost pointed relish in delivering particularly hard fouls against her. Perhaps more alarmingly, the referees often appear to inexplicably swallow their whistles, allowing blatant instances of excessive physicality to go uncalled, game after game. This isn't merely about a rookie learning the harsh realities of professional basketball. It's about the deeply troubling, perceived lack of adequate protection for the league's undisputed biggest draw, its most valuable and arguably most recognizable asset. The risk this ongoing situation poses is immense. It's a risk not just to Clark's immediate health and her long-term career longevity, but also to the very golden goose that is currently laying diamond-encrusted eggs for the entire WNBA. This apparent leniency from officials, this pattern of allowing her to absorb such punishment, is even more glaring and incomprehensible when you consider exactly what is at stake for everyone involved.